What I'm about to show you is something I made up. I'm sure I'm not the first person to edit like this, but I'm just saying it's not by the book or something you'd learn in film school. It's a pen and paper imagination exercise. A story finding technique that I started using instinctively and have passed on to some other filmmakers, some of whom have found it really helpful. It's about finding story flow, what I would call cutting like a DJ, pun intended. Let's imagine a story like this. We have a start, an end, intro character here, introduce a problem, take them on a journey to a resolution. But they come up against opposition. Will they make it through? We're not sure for a while, but yes, it's a glorious moment. Resolve and wrap up. The end. Not glamorous, but if you simplify them, a lot of famous stories look just like this. This could be a 2-hour movie, it could be a 90-second video. Either way, it's a reflection of the hero's journey. Now, imagine that you remove all the characters and the plot. What are you left with? Well, the story may be gone. You're left with the flow. And that flow still feels like a story. It also feels like a song. Let's take a classic pop song structure minus some repetition. You have a first verse that rises into a chorus, followed by a bridge that might be a bit quieter, then a glorious final chorus, a high moment to finish off, and a fade out. If you're a musician or just a human who has heard music, I apologize. Bear with me. When I start my edits, regardless of how much story content I have to work with, this is the structure that I'm looking for. It's familiar, it's engaging, it goes somewhere, and it gives you countless opportunities for great moments. While musicians only have sound, we as editors can use all the tools of filmmaking to achieve this. Instead of using characters and dialogue to make your story move, use the visual elements, colors, pacing, music, and sound design. Let's have a look at an example.
First and foremost, I'm a dad. Rodney and I met, I reckon it's probably 15 years ago. Became mates and then became business partners. The rest is history. This is our passionate project. To be honest, my son, when we found that he had peanut and nut allergies and egg allergies, we were pretty devastated. How does this not exist? How does a spread that can be taken to school not exist already?
It took us a few goes. How many goes? How many iterations?
60.
Yeah. The trickiest thing was to come up with a list of raw ingredients that's actually very safe and actually make it taste good.
There are over 4 million children that attend school in Australia. And a lot of those kids love peanut butter. They love Nutella. But unfortunately, they can't take it to school. What we wanted was for a consumer to pick up the jar and say, why is this school safe? When my daughter was in childcare, she actually had to sit on a different table to others who were drinking milk. And that to me was, was a real motivation for us to create something that was inclusive. So we actually do have a saying here at Buddy, and that's every lunchbox, every child and every home. And that's what Buddy's all about.
In creating this, my first step is to find the sound bites and shots that I really want to create hero moments out of. These moments, whether audio or just visual, form our main plot points. Draw them out on paper in the approximately correct order. I then find the right music and sound effects to create the flow between these moments and fill in the gaps with any other sound bites needed to support the story. The key here is maintaining the overall shape of the video. I know I want this moment to be the climax, so I place that around the 75% mark on the timeline, where the soundtrack I've chosen reaches its highest point. Since that's then going to reach the drop, that's the perfect moment to add what I think is the most powerful piece of audio from the whole day. This is going to be the final succinct soundbite viewers remember most clearly once the video is done. Back at the beginning of the timeline, we create the slow build of intensity by starting the video with longer shots and plenty of space between cuts. As the soundtrack builds, so does the pacing. We're cutting faster and faster as the story climbs. As the story builds, I'm ensuring to give each moment a little bit of room to breathe. New ideas will always have a bit of space after them, or the following visuals will reflect what the audio is saying. It's all about arranging plot points in proportion to each other so that the key moments shine. Now that our overall video is there, we polish it off with details. And there we have it, a video with the shape of a song. If you're an editor, chances are you're already doing this, maybe without even thinking about it. Story is a language, and we all speak it subconsciously to various degrees. This technique is just a way to proactively create the story in your mind and draw it on paper before you start cutting clips. Now take this basic format and break it. You can add segues in the verse to different structures. You can start building, but then subvert our expectations by taking it somewhere else completely. You can also do this multiple times in one video, rising and falling as the story goes on. The options are endless. The essential part of this is to really think about the flow of your story and get that shape down on paper before you start cutting clips. How do you plan your videos? I hope you found this helpful, but if you have an alternative method for creating stories, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know down below. Thanks for watching.